guys, what's up? I know it has been a very long time since I filmed last, and I'm trying not to trip and bust my face right now. I am out here with some friends tonight. We have a couple cameras and an amazing storyteller who you've met before, Chris Susi. He's been on an episode or two of ours before. We are starting this Civil War series, and we're starting here in the good old southern heartland of Georgia, where I live. And we are here at a haunted cemetery that has all sorts of crazy, spooky stories. We're already hearing noises out here, and I just really can't wait to get in here and get started. So let's go.
See, it's interesting because I'm almost positive that there was a caretaker who lived in a house right through there, and you could see through the trees the light of his yard. What? Yeah, that's a bush.
So this place is known as the Witch's Graveyard, and lots of cool, interesting lore. You'll hear a lot about it tonight. I got out of the car and stepped in dog poop, so that's how it started. So we're here. It's extremely secluded, extremely creepy. It's down on a back dirt road. I mean, Spanish moss. It's like still 90 degrees out here. Tons of overgrown graves. It's just, this place is kind of, I'm at loss for words for it. It's amazing out here. It looks and feels so thick out here. Is that an owl?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you guys hear?
So these are the witches' graves right here.
You said these are the witches' graves?
Yeah. Over here. So, in the original, my original experience of this place, the witches' graves were actually 3 graves that had gates, little fences that came out of the ground. They wrapped around the coffins. But in 1987, I came here with 12 friends, and we had this very frightening experience, and it became like wildfire. Everybody told the story to their friends and to their friends. That's a helicopter. And people started coming out here and vandalizing. So they actually removed the fences. So these are them. 1, 2, 3.
Did I just hear someone yell?
Huh?
I just heard someone yell.
I've been hearing a voice since I got here. There's also dogs not too far away.
Okay.
But the story was, out of this one, a tree had grown. Out of this one, a thorn bush had grown. And out of this one, nothing grew. Not even grass.
Oh, there's names on them.
Yeah.
Mary. Oh my gosh.
And they were saying that they had turned the tombstones away from the body. Your name should be over your body, but they turned them away as a sign of whatever. And the most striking feature, of course, was that they were fenced in. There was this gate over them. And this is the sand. This this last one was all sand like this, and it was very odd. I find it fascinating because apparently people are still being buried here, even though it has a sense and feel of being abandoned.
Yeah.
And there are still people who leave tea lights and things and flowers. And
it's very overgrown, but at the same time definitely still feels lived in.
one of the interesting things was when we first came here, it was actually really well kept, which we thought was equally eerie. There was something eerie about being in the middle of the woods and having... I keep hearing someone talking.
Yeah, I just heard a man talking.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah, right over there. There's definitely this eerie sensation because there's a good chance that the stones have just gone missing and you're walking over graves. Ah, 1917.
It's like a thick warm spot right here.
There's that voice again. Careful. Yeah, another balloon, please.
God, I hope so.
So, one time we came here and a pack of white dogs started circling around the fence. And we were watching them, and there was an opening in the fence over there. And we were tracking them thinking it's only a matter of time before, and it was like 5 or 6 snow white dogs, big dogs. And they were just trotting almost in a military march around the corner. And so we had to make a run for our cars. That's why I had us park so close to the gate. We are close enough to 4th of July.
But terrifying. It's creepy out here.
It's so super creepy.
It's, yeah.
It's in the air. You can feel it. There's a specific sensation to the place that is like it's swallowing light. You know, I have a flashlight and I'm pointing it, but I just feel like it's disappearing. Okay. Someone in this area. See, I'm almost positive that light used to be on. Yeah, or a motorcycle.
Hanging out right there.
Yeah. Did you catch? I'm hearing something like voices over there now. Good old handy pentagram. It very much sounds like a voice every now and then. Yeah. It's a freestanding crematorium. Yeah. Yeah. Oof. It's getting thick over here.
We're so far out, the stars are really showing. Is it still back?
So there is a fence around the entire cemetery, and this whole area is unoccupied, except if you look. No, I'm not sure that's a gravestone or not. Might just be a tuft of, but you see the fence over there.
Are there any other crazy stories that you know of?
So after coming here, it was my junior year in high school. After coming here, a lot of stories circulated. One of the more famous being that someone stole one of the 3 witches' gravestones, and within a month brought it back. The story being that it was just too much craziness to handle. But the story that was the most disturbing to me was that a lot of people brought Ouija boards out here. It's basically a small town, and you come up with a little urban legend, you come up with a little story that, like, everybody's like, I know where that place is, I can get to that place. And they start one-upping the experiences. And there is one story of a group of people who came here to do the Ouija board, and when they got home, there was blood on their front door. Like just a mark of blood down the front door, which can be just the creepiest, coincidence of all time, or could be a connection to what you shouldn't do. You give people a ghost story, and they'll try to twist it into something spectacular, not realizing that the ghost story all by itself is pretty spectacular. People just want more. And the cemetery, I think, has all of this really oppressive feeling to it. I also always found it strange that it was, from the midpoint on, virtually nothing.
Like no one else has been buried.
Yeah. Well, actually, over in this corner there is, which makes it even stranger.
Yeah.
It is. You can actually, you feel like you're pushing through the darkness just walking around. Yeah, right here in the furthest corner of the cemetery. There's one plot. Way out here by itself. I don't think it is. 2001? 2000? We should probably walk this way then. Oh, that's our light.
I saw it too.
Yeah, I did. So this is an interesting thing. This tree, the sprawling tree,
Yeah.
there's one right over there, but for some reason the one over there is conical. It's like being repressed. That place has always been a little creepy. Oh, spider web.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is. There's so many strange sounds out here, I swear. So this tree is one of the weirder things because it doesn't spread. There's nothing near it to keep it like this. It doesn't sprawl, and if I'm not mistaken, it's a magnolia, which are famous for big arms. Yeah. I'd come out with a friend who claimed psychic abilities, and she said that it was like spirits trying to pull themselves out of the ground, pulling on the tree to keep it from moving this way. Hmm? The footfalls? Oh, weird. It looks like the fence has been broken. Whoa. My foot went straight into the ground here. Yeah.
I'll fall in a grave.
Yeah, that would be bad. The first time we came here, a friend of mine stepped into a hole that that went straight up to her thigh. And yeah, that's the last thing you want to happen in a graveyard. Yeah, look at that. Maybe. It doesn't look like a car.
No, it's bent down.
Something desperate to get out, something desperate to get in. Oh.
Is that you trying to communicate with us?
If there's someone here, make your presence known. Make a sound. Reach out and touch my arm. If there's anyone here, there's a lot of voices happening. And it's not saying that there's not people over there, but
Did you feel something weird?
I feel a lot of heat,
Yeah.
like an abnormal amount of heat. Like someone just turned an oven on around me. For those of you who don't know, when you're ghost hunting, it is very likely that you'll feel a cold spot because they say that spirits will absorb the ambient temperature to help facilitate action. But when you experience hot, an increase of temperature, that might be a spirit actually actively doing something. They're expending the energy that they've taken. So if they've taken energy leaving behind a cold spot, that's one thing. But if you find a hot spot, a spike in temperature, that might be something expending energy, burning energy. Does anybody have? I heard just a singular chink of a chain. Might be this cricket over here.
Are you trying to get our attention?
Do we? There's some very agitated dog barking.
Mostly male voices, but recently there's been like 2 times now where I thought I heard a higher, like a female voice.
There's a cold spot right here. Oh, it was right here. Can you speak to us? Can you let us know you're here? Hello? Hello?
Alright, I'm turning the light on. I'm going to turn it on really low. So, Sorry I kept you guys in the dark for so long there. We're really trying to bring something out. We're feeling a lot of like kind of heaviness here, thinking we're hearing voices. Still not sure if it's animals, bugs. We're not really sure. There's a lot going on out here. So, I mean, again, it could be wildlife. It could be ghosts. That was something.
That was definitely something. Hello?
That just came from 3 directions
that
around
did.
us. That's surrounding us. What's scary is there's gates and access to this place. Oh, I just heard it again.
We have so much extra sound, it's hard to pinpoint anything. But that definitely sounded like we had a response there, there, and there.
Oh yeah, it was like instant. 3 directions. And you guys watching on the other side, let us know if you see or hear anything that we're missing, because being in the moment is totally different, as you know, than watching it or going back and rewatching it. So if we're missing something that we don't talk about or say or notice ourselves, please comment below and let us know, because there's a lot going on out here.
Family plot.
That old tree.
Did you hear that?
I did. That's someone yelling over there. That's a dog.
But it's also like a choking sound.
Is it a dog being killed? If you are trying to tell us something and we're not hearing you right now, we might be able to hear you later. If you can come up to one of our lights, if you can come up to my light right here and just speak close to this light. If I can't hear you now, I'll be able to hear you later. I'll be at Ashmore Estates this year. This fall.
So many children.
Huh?
I said it's so many children.
Yeah.
It's almost overwhelmingly children. What was that?
I heard that sounded like a cry or something out there.
Hello?
Makes you wonder if someone's out there messing with us. somebody that drove by.
Sure, drove by and was like, that's their backyard.
Yeah. See, I keep hearing it out there. And so when it comes to cemeteries, I feel like sometimes we like enter this weird vortex or something, and we're just like, time kind of stops.
Cemeteries have all kinds of things in them, religious connotations, iconograph, things that ghosts, spirits, humans recognize as for the dead. And so oftentimes what you get in cemeteries are stories about lingering ghosts, ghosts that are wanting the light, wanting to go home. So they're just behaving themselves. They come to cemeteries specifically because they know that this is where dead people belong, and therefore, if they stay there, they will be rounded up and taken to heaven, to the next thing, whatever. That's why there's all these, gates and fences. If you're on the inside of the gate, you're saved. If you're on the outside of the gate, you're doomed. Things of that nature, which makes a cemetery is kind of like, they always talk about sacred ground. The concept being that we revere it as living beings, and in that reverence, the spirits hold on to it.
I know.
Hello?
It sounded like somebody was talking right there.
Yeah. So what you pick up on a lot if you go to ghost hunting a lot is the idea that the significance we as living people place on things oftentimes affects the spiritual nature of the place. And oftentimes you'll find right around cemeteries, outside cemeteries, there's a lot of dark mojo, dark feelings.
Yeah, like where our cars are.
Yes, when we first came up, it felt like we were going to die.
There's our cars right outside the gates there. You can see how dark it is out here. This is not a place I would want to do an alone challenge, that's for sure.
It's so weird. I keep, like, as I'm turning and moving, I keep seeing tombstones that aren't there.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe it's where they once were.
Maybe. Or maybe, like, when you look at the sun, you get a little sun.
Yeah.
Just having them lit up and then looking into the dark.
It's terrible. I need some Claritin. Benadryl.
We've gotten a good glimpse of what this cemetery is like. It is definitely a cemetery with a variety of interaction. I've been out here on more than one occasion where we ran, and I've been here where there was nothing. I often find cold helps spirits seek out the living. That whole concept of bringing the ambient temperature, pulling heat out of the air in order to fuel themselves. During the cold months, that heat isn't readily available. And so you show up in a place, you're the source of heat, and they may come and harass you. I think that's why autumn and winter are oftentimes more supernaturally charged, and people kind of think about it that way.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. If you like this video, like and subscribe below. Comment, tell us if we missed anything that we didn't call out that you saw or you heard. I'm going to try my best during the editing to listen for any EVPs that we can find. We're definitely going to come back out to this place. This is the Witch's Graveyard. Super cool. It is definitely a spot to revisit. I'm so glad Chris brought us out here. Join us on our next adventure. We've got so much in store for you guys. I am happy to be back.